And do you see it?
It has like that 30 to 45 second lag.
Right. So let me know what you're looking at, I guess.
Yep, it's loading.
Okay.
I can see your canvas and your blanket, your other art stuff. Yep, me too.
Okay.
Cool beans.
Sweet. Okay. Stay on for one more second, actually.
Yeah.
If I sit right here, do you still get a good angle of the painting and stuff?
Do you still get a good angle of the painting and stuff? Yep. That's perfect. It is. Really good.
Okay. What about like this? Is this better?
You still get a good angle of the painting. Yep. That's perfect. It is. What about like this? It works. Yeah, it's good.
Okay. I'll talk to you guys on the other side.
Okay. Have a peace out.
Okay. So I don't know how many people are watching. I might just be talking to Bree and Abby, but I'm gonna wait a couple extra minutes to see if to let people come to the right link because I put in the wrong link. I'm not good at technology, so please enjoy the next 3 minutes of me getting my paint ready. Yeah. Okay. I don't normally talk to myself when I'm painting, but out loud, but it's actually kind of nice to be able to do that. I'll kind of take you through my process of what I do, why I do it. The biggest thing that I try to explain to people is, and hi Jacob, Jacob's watching too. I'm not any what's the word? Trained artist by any means. I took a semester of art school and hated it because I didn't like people telling me to do art a certain way. Art is there's an art to everything. There's an art to breathing, there's an art to, cooking, there's an art to dancing, there's an art to thinking, there's an art to math. And the art that I feel like I do is kind of like an art of creating so many mistakes until it just becomes a cohesive piece. So if you have paint or colored pencils, anything, and you want to kind of go along the process with me, that is super cool and I encourage it. Otherwise, you can just hang out and listen to me talk. I'm really funny, so I can guarantee at least one laugh. So yeah, here we go. Alright, so what I'll start out by doing, is kind of taking the basic colors of paint. I really like the idea of setting the foundation of just all colors. I don't like to discriminate. So yeah, I'll get going on that in just a minute. Wow, this is really embarrassing. I can't figure out technology for the life of me. This is why I paint. I get to touch and feel my mistakes, and I don't need to go around trying to figure out how to work stuff. But I don't know. There's an art to technology, see? It's just a thing we do. Ain't that right, guys? Please stay tuned. Get a snack, get some water. If there's anyone looking for a position to be like my tech assistant or tech person, I can pay you in art. I'm genuinely thinking about giving that person commission on a lot of what I'm selling because I feel like I could sell more if I was able to figure all this out. So if you're interested, please let me know because I'm hiring. But on a real note, I mean, that is real. Oh my god, that's totally real. I wasn't lying. But I'm just trying to figure out how to go live, but I can't. Okay, there we go. So we're gonna do this. Almost started, guys, I promise. Huh. Thank you for everyone that's texting me and trying to find out what I'm trying to do, but I did it. So let's move on. Okay, so let's start painting. What am I gonna do? I like to get my hands dirty. Just because that's kind of how I do it. What I'm feeling right now is blue. I really like deep blue. It reminds me of the ocean. Whenever I use blue to start with, I think of the power of the waves and just the force that the ocean, provides. And not provides, but just the force that it has. I don't know if any of you have been caught by a current before or been knocked over by a wave, but I can tell you it's one of the most exhilarating feelings I've ever felt. My goodness, it's literally just. So this is why I paint, so I can express that. And then sometimes you if there's the waves just kind of keep going in a pattern and you get into the rhythm of it, you kind of figure out how to avoid the current and swim underneath it or above it. And it's just, it almost feels like you're finally in sync with the ocean and nature, and it's just amazing. Poor little fishies will get pushed around and taken, but I mean, that's what they're there for. They know what they signed up for, probably. So that's blue. That's blue. So if you have even a pencil right now and you were trying to do this, all I would recommend is just taking that pen or pencil and just thinking about the ocean and just feeling it. You can close your eyes. It's just something that I feel let it take you. Let the rhythm of the ocean take you, even if you're not there. It's still moving. The currents are still there. The waves are still there. So yeah, that's blue. And that's how we're going to start this painting. And now I'm kind of feeling pink. There's a book called The Secret Lives of Colors, and it talks about pink, how it used to be a man's color, because red was, a very, very manly color, and, just adding white to it, it didn't really matter. It was the whole shade. All the shades of red men wanted. And Marilyn Monroe was actually the first person to exploit that, and she started wearing pink, and that's how the girly girl kind of came into play. She started wearing it and portrayed such a feminine figure that that's when pink started to be seen as a woman's color. It's interesting how even colors have history to them. Yeah. And what I'm thinking about right now is kind of how this COVID thing is going to be in our history books. I'm just kind of letting my hands move around. Not really caring where they're going, just kind of feeling it out. I always hate when I forget about the corners. The corners are what hold the whole piece together. Can't leave them out. It's kind of like the way, Bob Ross talks about his little tree friend. That's how I feel about corners. You always gotta, if your corners are happy, then your painting will be amazing. You just can't neglect them. I'm just kind of rubbing it. I know, a lot of people tell me, and I feel this way too with a lot of my paintings that are unfinished. They make me uncomfortable. I'm like, ugh, I just need to finish it. It needs to come to something. But pushing through that uncomfortable feeling hasn't just helped me with art, but it's helped me a lot with like other aspects of my life. I like it. Alright, we're gonna move on. Actually, no, because I still have some pink on my hands, so pink doesn't want to be done yet. Just gonna spread it out so that whenever I paint over this, this part, it will have a history of purple. See, I'm doing it right now. I'm talking in my head, but I forgot that I'm supposed to be talking out loud. Let's move on to a different color. Don't be afraid if you're painting or you're drawing or whatever, and you're trying to do some abstract stuff. Be abstract. Turn your canvas over so you don't miss any spots, so you can see it from a different point of view. I think that's so important. Extremely important, actually. So what we're going to do is actually flip it this way, because we'll work on this side now. What color? Let's see. Let's do some red, just because I feel like it will go with the colors on my hands. So for the people that were here at the beginning, I was talking about how there's an art to everything in life. Everything is an art form. Just living. There's an art to living. There's an art to surviving. And one of the things that I've kind of thought about is the art of a match, like a all match where you strike the matchbox. I don't know about you, but I played with fire as a kid, and I would strike the match just to watch it burn around the that sort of wooden stick, like the match itself, and the fire would just dance. Like, it was just so beautiful. Like, I can't even explain how mesmerized I was with it. And that's just kind of what I'm thinking about when I'm, when I'm thinking about my red paint here. I'm just kind of remembering the motions and feeling the canvas. It was kind of like it would go up, come back around underneath, go up again, do this really weird pattern thing, go down and around, and oh my god, just beauty. The other thing that I think about, that leads me to think about, is if you've ever lit an incense and you see the way the smoke dances off of the stick itself. Literally have spent like 20 minutes just staring at that when I was supposed to be going to class.
No music?
No, because you can't have music. They can take it off, because it's copyrighted.
But what live are you on?
YouTube and Instagram.
At the same time?
At the same time.
I thought you said this was just through you.
Yeah, it is. I'm doing it. I need to have a way to do it.
Can you see who's watching?
I don't know, but they can hear you if anyone is watching.
Is there like a comment section?
I don't know. Go on YouTube on your phone and look.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Go to my channel.
Okay, cool. Da. So, where's my phone?
I don't know. All right.
Are you like talking through it?
Yeah.
Cool.
You're interrupting it.
Oh. Might be.
That was my sister. But anyways, back to the painting. So, I don't know what you see when you look at this right now. What I see is a mess, and I kind of love it because that's how I feel right now. I feel like I'm a mess. My hands are messy, which I love. My life feels messy. I'm moving out of my apartment back into my parents' house, and that's crazy. And everything just feels messy, and I don't like it. Okay. I like mixing patterns. It's hard for me to stay consistent in a painting. So what I've done with these colors, I probably won't do with the next colors I use. And I will explain that in a second. Okay.
What's your chin?
I'm just saying more than the
Oh, cool.
with the orange. Can you like go? Like watch from somewhere else?
Okay.
Okay.
There's 8 watching.
8 people?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Get more friends of yours to watch.
Okay.
Okay. I have 8 friends. Alright, so let's use a paintbrush. I don't really know what paintbrushes are good for, which one is which, so there's none of this like, use this kind and this number. Which is great if you do know that. I don't. I just kind of took a fat brush because that's how I'm feeling right now. I want to make a mark on this canvas. So, what are you going to use? A small brush or a big brush? Either one. I don't care. I'm using a big brush. So, what I do... What do I think about when I think of orange? I don't even know. But I feel like the painting is now starting to talk to me. It's wanting colors in certain places. So right here, I feel that. I feel like you need some orange there. This is the first time I've ever explained this process to anybody. You are the first 8 people to ever know. When I'm famous, it's going to be amazing. I mean, I am famous, sort of. Not really. Okay. There we go. So, where else are you screaming for? Right here. So, if I'm gonna color it to get technical now, I mean, I'm sure people know this, but I feel like a lot of people will kind of run into this problem while they're painting, and kind of the reason why they don't paint, or they feel like they're not good, is because they feel like when they mix colors, the colors don't turn out nice. Which is true if you use orange and blue together. I mean, it's gonna not create like a purple or a green. So that's what I mean when the painting's like talking to me. What colors, like where does it need to go to balance? It can totally go on the blue, you just have to make sure the blue is dry. But then if you look, if you can see, I know it's kind of far, but we'll fix it later. But right here, it's kind of like a brown, which is totally okay to have brown in color. I wish brown was a more, not acceptable color to like have on paintings, but when you think about paintings, people aren't really drawn to the brown and black and white and gray paintings. At least I'm not. I mean, I am. But when I'm painting, I like to really express a lot. Like, I have gray paintings, but I typically cover them up, which is deep within itself. So anyways, who knows, maybe this painting will eventually be covered by a gray painting. Who knows? I can tell you right now, I don't. Let's talk about happy things. So, I have, I started writing a journal about just all the small happy things that happened to me, just so I could go back and remember and think about it. And one of them was when I when I was outside, I was just sitting waiting for the bus and I wasn't feeling like going to school, and I saw a frog jump across the sidewalk, like hop, hop, hop. I thought it was the cutest thing. I was so happy, like made my day better. I couldn't tell you why it did, but because of that, I'm gonna add some green. And you can totally mix colors too. And if you're working with a pen, switch it up. Use a different pen, or don't. But someone told me, one of my art professors when I was in art school for 2 months, told me never use a color straight out of the bottle, because like when you're working with really basic colors, because it doesn't add depth. I like breaking all the rules, so literally everything I learned in art school, I do the opposite of. Stick it to the man or whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm going to mix a little bit, but I mean, there's nothing wrong with using what's in the bottle. Nothing wrong. It's a beautiful color. Don't shame that color for being what it is. So because it was jumping and that's what made me happy, I'm just going to add some bounce marks. Maybe that looks stupid, but I don't care. This painting is still in its stupid stage. And that's okay. That's what you gotta accept when you're creating anything or learning anything. Every part of life has a stupid stage. And for the people that don't ever get to experience it, I feel like they're on their own level and they're disconnected from the world. So, like the people that are just born natural talent people, but I don't know, there's nothing wrong with that, but honestly, I feel like I really enjoy the process. The process is what it's about. I never understood what people meant by the journey. I feel like the journey is not a good word to use. I think it's the process, that is better than the destination. Because what I was thinking was, if I'm hiking and then I get to a beautiful waterfall at the end, the destination was I don't know, it was worth taking the hike, but it didn't make sense. It wasn't better than the destination. But when I look at one of my finished pieces, the process of getting to that is the most beautiful thing. And I think that's why art is so important, because it reminds us of those processes. So yeah, we got a little frog around. He was a cute guy. Hope he's doing okay. Just gonna add a little more. Got a little blue. Maybe hop over here a little bit. This process here, being allowed to make mistakes and test out what you're doing, I might cover this all up. We might not see any of this in the final product, but that's okay, because maybe doing this led me to think of something else. You have to make those mistakes. You have to put your guard down and try something new to, in my opinion, to really live a fulfilling life, or to feel fulfilled after you complete a painting or something. I don't know. It's just what you gotta do. It's what I have to do. Alright. That was a good run. Here we go. Off to the next thing. We're gonna add some yellow. Because holla at you, yellow. Yellow is like the most neutralizing color to me, which is weird. I feel like there's no such thing. I mean, I feel like, the grays and the blacks and the whites are like neutral or, neutral colors, but yellow for me is the most neutral color. I can't explain it, but there's not one single painting of mine that doesn't have a little bit of yellow. Except for one, actually. One, because I pushed myself to not use any yellow. That was the hardest thing I had to do. But the painting turned out alright. I think. Probably. I don't know. I think it's flip time. I'm gonna flip it this way. People say finger painting is for kids. I beg to differ. And if it is for kids, good, because I don't want to be associated with that. Like, this is the kind of color I was talking about. It's not the most beautiful color, People aren't drawn to it because it might look like something that your dog threw up the other day. But that's okay. Each color has its purpose. And I just feel like it's wrong to say that it can't contribute in a positive way. I also like finding random things around my house just to try to paint with it. So I have a cork from a wine bottle. Just kind of moving this bad boy around with some blue. You might think, yeah, like it's the exact same mark. You can't differentiate it, but it's a different feeling for me to paint with it. And working through different feelings, physical, emotional, whatever, is just a good thing to kind of explore. Doesn't need to contribute directly to the outcome of the painting. It kind of contributes to the direct outcome of you, which I think is important. Plus, it gives me an excuse to buy some wine, so win-win. But you can really use anything, and for whatever you want. You can also use the side of it to do some rolls. Like this. And that gives you a different texture when you go up close. And you don't have to sit in the same position, but I feel like if I was up and moving around, my butt would be in your face and it wouldn't be that great. So that's why I'm kind of sitting in here until I figure out a better way to record everything. Okay. What color am I feeling? Feeling more red. More yellow too. So anyways, let's see. I think too, with all this COVID stuff going on, I feel like this is kind of the first time I've seen people like not put together, like when you have to go on FaceTime or, whatever, Zoom, people are kind of like, get out of bed and, they'll try to look good, but I don't know, you get to see what people really look like almost. I mean, maybe not everyone, but you also get to see how they live, like not, furniture-wise, but animal-wise. You get to meet all your friends' pets or your coworkers' pets. You kind of get to see what art they have on their wall. That's what I was looking at. I would kind of look in the background behind people and see what was on their walls, which was super interesting. I loved it. I love being able to look at that. I'll say this a few times throughout the video, just in case people come in or out or, new people join, but I'll be sending free prints out. So if you want some free prints, message me on Facebook or Instagram or email me. My Facebook and Instagram are Morgan Burgard Art, and you can figure out the spelling from the YouTube channel. So if you want some free art, message me. If you already received some, tell someone else about it and have them reach out to me. Part of the reason I'm doing this is because I feel like for me, my art serves as a reminder. Whenever I look at one of my paintings, I remember the process and the outcome, and I kind of want that to serve. I want that to be the purpose for others as well, if they're willing. I mean, I want my art to be a reminder that you matter, that, your ideas are valued in the world, and without it, the world wouldn't be the same. And I genuinely believe that with everybody. I feel like everyone has such a unique perspective, and a lot of the times, I feel like regardless of they don't have the platform to share, their ideas, or they don't feel like they deserve to, or whatever. I just want my art to be a reminder that you can and you totally should, and just to empower people. We need to be more empowered, I think. I think a lot of things. Everyone thinks a lot of things. If people didn't think a lot of things, we probably wouldn't have YouTube. We won't finish this painting. During this session. But there will be another session. And I won't touch it until that session happens. It'll definitely, we're just going to do this weekly. So next Saturday, I'm not ending the session right now, but just so you know, put it on your calendars. And maybe I'll send out the right link this time. And I feel like the yellow represents everything I just did, represents the scattered thoughts I was having. I went from here to there, up and down, and that's okay. It might be not okay in a classroom setting. It might not be okay if I was trying to defuse a bomb, but right now it's okay to think that way and to, move and let your ideas really come out of you. It's fun to do this kind of painting and then to kind of step back and see what you kind of see forming. Maybe you see a person, maybe you see an eyeball, maybe you see a dolphin. Maybe you see something inappropriate that I don't see, but I feel like a lot of the times that's my sisters will tell me they see, so I'm sure it's in here. And remember what I said about the corners. The corners are obviously, I feel like the corners of the painting are not what people are going to go to, right? I mean, it's not where your eye goes. But without the corners, the painting doesn't connect. So important to not ignore those things in life and on a canvas. So important. And if you do, that's fine. But then take a step back and realize what you're doing. I won't forget about it. So that's what we have right now. Alright, now it's time to transition a little bit. Alright. I'm gonna rotate this. We're gonna take a quick 30-second break so I can let my dog in. And we'll get back to it in a second. Hi, Rosie. Alright, I'm gonna bring you over here. So you get to see the ugly part of all this, which is a lot of moving stuff. Oh. Some people have, filming art down to a perfect art. Excuse the pun, but anyways. Okay. Oops. Put you there. Alright. So let's focus on one corner, one thing. Okay. Now we're just gonna start picking random colors. It's kind of like, what's that? Whatever. I don't even feel like trying to explain that. Oh, what you gotta say? Should I explain it? Luck of the draw is how I'll explain it. Just kind of picking colors, seeing what they look like, and then deciding where they belong on the canvas. And they belong in multiple places. They can probably belong anywhere. Just what I feel at the time, where I think it needs to go, what the painting is telling me. The painting is me. Add some red. Here we go. Okay. Yeah? Tell me more, Ron. I also like to listen to music while I'm painting. Gets me in the flow of things. I'm a little bit more active while painting if I'm listening to music. It's almost like a jazzercise art class. There's so much depth in art. So much. That's what I love about it. That's why I like the ocean. A lot of depth to it. sometimes I wonder if there are people with no depth or if they just hide it. I want to believe that everyone has, depth to them and genuine feelings and all that stuff, but I mean, I'm one person and who am I to judge someone else about it? But I don't know. These are the questions I think about while I'm painting. They do not haunt me at night though, so. No? Let's take another 30-second break. I'm gonna collect my thoughts, they're a little scattered right now. And I'm gonna let my dog out of the room because now she wants to go out. There you go. Alright. Okay. I love asking people questions and listening to people talk while I'm painting. Sometimes I watch TV while I'm painting. Actually, a lot of the time I do. Just because, I don't know. That's what I like to do. I get into a rhythm when I'm painting. And I don't really know why or how. It's just kind of the universe or the canvas or my brain, whatever you want to call it, kind of takes over. I let my eyes and my hands kind of talk to each other in ways they don't normally. And I feel like my brain almost shuts out. It's almost like it's like not a thinking, it's thinking, but it's almost like my eyes are doing the thinking. My hands are listening. Again, it's going to look ugly. Don't think that this is the end of this painting. Ugly things turn into beautiful things. I mean, we all learned it in kindergarten about the caterpillar. The caterpillars? I guess why do we think they're ugly? Because they look different? I don't know. Butterflies are different too, but what's the beauty? Like, why do we see beauty? The way our neurons, connect and process things is crazy. Painting is draining for me. And that's why sometimes I just say that. That's a lot to think about. And it's draining and it's stressful to think about the hard times in your life and meaning and whatever. And that's okay. It's okay. It's okay to cover that up. You don't need it all the time. And at least it's there. At least it's there. We're human. We cover it up. We use sarcasm. We use technology. And then we just cover it up. And that's okay. It is okay. It's not always a pretty color. Sometimes it can be pretty. This is also the point during the painting where I learn about new colors. I kind of see how different colors mix that I would never normally mix, and it's just a very unique experiment every time. Like, I just mix a little green, red, and purple, and this is now one of my favorite colors. It's like a periwinkle almost, but a more earth tone periwinkle. And I love it. It's weird for me to think about why this kind of thing is my passion, because art is my passion, but what does that mean? That I like putting paint on a canvas? No, it's not what it means. But I don't know all of what it means yet. I want it so bad to mean something bigger. And I think it does, and I have confidence that it does, and I have confidence that I'll be able to, harness that. But for now, sometimes it feels almost pointless. I mean, yeah, I get to create something and it's for me, but I don't know. I like to connect with people and I like to share. I like to share ideas a lot. And it's really hard right now with, feeling so isolated. I mean, and I can share ideas and find ideas online, but there's something that's very magical about a conversation that comes out of nowhere where I, kind of go into it without knowing what's going to come out of it. And that's the same thing with painting. I mean, I literally never know what's going to come out of it. Never. And I think that's pretty, symbolic of life. And you guys are probably looking at this painting thinking, what the actual heck? I don't know if kids are watching, probably not, but, But that's okay. It's kind of a test to you to see if you're going to stick it out with me till the end of the painting. You're going to go through this process with me. Are you? For anyone watching right now, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you. I don't really know how to say thank you. I feel like just saying it doesn't mean anything, so I'll think about a better way to say it. To express my thanks. One more time. I'm in my parents' office right now, and I need to thank them more for letting me take over and use it as an art studio. I mean, they have laptops, they can go wherever they want. But seriously, yeah, that's something I'm grateful for. It's my family. We got a nice little purple going on. Purple gonna take over. You do your thing. Purple is so rich. Oh, so beautiful. I love purple. This is how many of my paintings go. What you're seeing is kind of how a lot came to be. In a little bit, I'll showcase my paintings that I would have had I been in a had my art shows actually happened instead of being canceled. But we'll do that in a little bit. Before we get to that, we're going to add a little bit more flavor. Because flavor is everything. There's an artist, I forget his name. Not very good with names. That's like the oldest excuse in the book, and I hate when people say it, but I said it, so whatever. And one of his pieces that, like a acclaimed artist, I'll have to look up his name. He had up in a museum 3 white canvases. Like he could have, bought them from the store, like, and they were just hung up. He got paid millions for it, right? Or maybe not millions, but a lot of money. Too much money for, the lack of effort. But then I learned how to appreciate that white canvas. When I look at a white canvas, I think of the possibilities that can be done on it. It's almost like at the store, like, you can, like, even cooking, like, everyone buys flour for different things. Like, what is that flour going to be turned into? That flour, that one that was packaged, like, has its destiny, And I mean, you can look at that as stupid and not meaningful, but I choose to look at it as the way I just described. Like, yeah, it's just flour, it's just a canvas, who cares? But I care very much about the canvases I use. Oops. I don't like to waste paint, so I use everything that I can. I've actually had paintings that have been all like that are composed of all of the extra paint that I didn't want to get rid of. So that was a cool process. I like that. You know, it's kind of like all paint has worth and should never be thrown away. You know, it's funny enough, I've never added a handprint to any of my paintings before. So there's a first for everything. Kind of like crawling Spider-Man. Cute. Deep. Meaningful. Alright, almost done. I feel like we're almost at a really stupid stage to be able to stop. I don't want to see the hand. I want to see something abstract. It's gonna bother me until I paint it again. Let's switch it up. Oh, not in here. I don't know. You guys can probably still see hands. All right. Okay. Almost done. So again, if you want some free art, you know, or you know someone that would, have them or you message me on Facebook, email, Instagram, the address to send it to, and I will make sure you get some art. And it will hopefully serve as a reminder, some sort of positive reminder to you. You're important, you're worth everything, you know, smile, anything, just something to serve as a purpose. I like when art serves a purpose, isn't just on the wall for, serving, because it looks good, I guess, is a purpose, but I want it to be more than that. I want my art to be more than that. Clearly it has to be because it doesn't look that great right now, but, yeah. All right. We're gonna take a few minutes so I can wash my hands, and then I will show you guys the paintings that would have been at the show today. So hang tight.
starting to see my abs. It's kind of cool.
Oh,
Hey Morgan, I don't see it. I don't see it.
there it is. Okay. Hello. Wow, this is so weird. Okay.
Come on, Miss Cody. How long are you gonna be?
Hmm?
How much longer are you doing this for?
I'm showing my paintings now.
Oh,
Fun. All right. We're gonna get going in 2 seconds. Hold up. Stay with me, I promise. Man, this second one that I'm gonna do next week, I promise is gonna be a billion times better because I'll sort of know how this works and what doesn't work. All right. So here we go. Almost. Okay. So, hope you enjoyed the first part of the live painting. Now, I'm going to showcase my art. Talk about it kind of like a school report, I guess. Okay. So, this painting right here is the collection of all of the unused paint. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure I used it all because, I mean, one, money, but two, just something that I feel like doesn't need to go to waste. You know, there's, again, this was a blank canvas and there's a bunch of possibilities with it, and those possibilities would have been there without the unused paint. So, I want to get a better look. I don't know how great the lighting is, but we'll figure that out next time. All right. This is my one painting without any yellow. That was really difficult for me. I had to push myself because yellow is my neutralizing color, my safe spot. Maybe because of sunshine. Couldn't tell you. Just the way I feel. This painting is called Neurons. I made it when I learned about neurons from a psych class that I took, and I thought they were just the most magical things in the whole world. Yeah, just the way we connect and we think, I think, is a beautiful thing. This piece is unfinished, maybe, but here we go. This painting is one that's been in the works for a while. There's a lot of layers to it, a lot of thoughts and feelings put into it, a lot of frustration and anger. but I think it makes a beautiful background for something that will soon turn into a masterpiece. This painting is every single square that I painted on here was for someone I thought that like wasn't remembered, who died and just didn't have a family, or someone next to them. I'll start crying if I talk about it, but I know it's really colorful, and it's just the same way that I don't know, I want to make light of things. I mean, there's some things you can't, which is fine, but in this situation, it was just really hard for me to deal with. Something I was learning in class, and I decided that I wanted to paint something for people that don't have a voice, maybe. It's hard to explain. That's why I paint. And the last one I'll show is somewhat of a, how to describe it? I mean, just stare at it and I will stare back, I guess, right? So yeah. I'm really bad at ending things. Oops. But this is not the end. It's the first part of hopefully many more. Next Saturday, same time, noon 15, because there will no doubt be technical issues that I will probably be dealing with. Oops. So I want to thank you guys, anyone that watched, a little bit, not a little bit, for joining me in the process, or the beginning of the process of how I paint. And yeah, I hope to see you guys next time. Don't forget, message me if you want some free art, or if someone you know could use some free art. Thanks, guys.